I would like you to defend yourself.
It's the way I worded it. I am sorry.
Well, it's not my fault that apparently I actually look really pretty today, as opposed to all the other days when I look like a hag.
I didn't even say you looked like a hack. Your hair looks nice when it's straight. That's what I was gonna say, but you didn't give me a chance to say that. You just went off and got mad.
Well, that's because instead of saying that, you said, "Dee, you actually look really pretty today."
And then I was going to finish it with saying I like when your hair is straight, but no, let's just go off on a tangent.
She called me ugly, and I would like the record to show that.
And welcome to the marriage counseling episode of TAPS. I'm Andrew Rinaldi. Apparently, I'm the therapist in this one. And joining me this week, of course, we have Sam over here and the always pretty Dee. No matter how
pretty, she just doesn't give me a chance to finish my sentences.
I don't know, Andrew. You were there. That was a complete sentence. And it was not followed up with any.
I was going to follow it up. You didn't give me a chance.
Sam, those spider webs were up there, and you just walked right into them. I saw it coming, and I was like, "Oh boy, I'm not jumping on that grenade." I'm sorry.
It's fine. I look like a hack every day.
Anyway,
that's not what anybody said.
Welcome to our listening audience out there. You are always beautiful as well. We are just getting started with the best time of the year. That is the Calder Cup Playoffs. I mean, just hockey playoff season in general is just full of chaos and, the pendulum swings of, oh, it's so over. Oh, we're so back. We're going to go over a couple of series here where for some of them, it's kind of already over. For some of them, they're so back.
But first and most importantly, Sam did not actually watch the Pirates of the Caribbean. Who did manage to watch 3 Pirates of the Caribbean movies in French for some reason? Also, mind you, it was me.
I had 2 medical emergencies within 36 hours of each other, so I didn't really have time. I had to take care of myself and not worry about pirates.
Pirates is self-care.
I didn't realize that the week was only 36 hours long.
Oh.
I'm sorry that your therapist had to clap back so hard on that one. That's probably got to be.
I'm sorry. I had a concussion and anaphylactic shock to, threatening
condition. Do you want to talk about it?
I would like to talk to my insurance, who's going to send me the bill in about 30 days.
I would like to talk about some playoff hockey we got coming up here. This is, like I've already said before, but I'm so amped up because this is just what it's all about. And we already got some wild, unpredictable, some kind of predictable, but just some crazy stuff. Do you want to start with the West? I kind of want to start with the West. I feel like we always start with the East because there's a time zone. Sun rises in the East, at least it's settled in final location, but we should start with the West.
We're not quoting Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I already did, so you're just going to have to get
We're going to quote music. It better at least be good.
Weren't the Red Hot Chili
Peppers? Okay, I'm going to follow up on Sam's mistake. I'm just not even going to touch that comment. We're going to go right into it. I want to talk some Canucks and some Eagles. Not some Chili Peppers, okay? California's not even in this. This is a rare Pacific matchup where we're not even in California.
Yeah.
There's no chili references.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, so Abby's winning the series so far by 1 game because they've only played the 1 game, which is really fun. But the Abbotsford Canucks won it. This was one of those matchups where it's like, this one's gonna be fun. I hate that it's a short series because I want 7 games of Canucks and Eagles. It would be a dream come true.
The vibes especially for some of these matchups are it should be considered sacrilegious that we're only given 3 game series here. I mean, I get it because when you have 36 teams in your playoff brackets, you can't have 7 game series or else we'd be playing until August, and then it would wouldn't be fair to everyone. But when you can only do the 3, I feel like it makes those games just that much more impactful. Like those goals are bigger, those saves are bigger. Everything is it's dialed up to 11.
For sure.
And in a series like this, where Abbotsford and Colorado had the same amount of points, they had the same records, and Colorado had more regulation wins, so they ended up getting 3 home games in a 3-game series. I feel like that's not fair to that's not fair to Abby, right?
And it's not even one of those things where it's like they're kind of close by, so like Abbotsford's fans can come down. It's like no, like that's like a whole different country.
Is it the same situation that Lehigh ran into last year with Charlotte? Because Charlotte had home ice advantage and it was like so many miles apart.
Basically,
there's got to be like a mileage like requirement. Like if it's this far, they're just gonna be like, okay, we're just gonna throw them all in the one city, and you're just gonna deal with it.
I think it's 500 miles.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Abbotsford's up in maple syrup land, so
yeah, border crossings and all that. It tends to complicate.
Yeah, Colorado's down where the beer is made, so there's a difference. No, it's gonna be a super interesting next couple of games for Abby and Colorado. Mostly because like those are 2 teams that are kind of built the same way that their parent teams are, but kind of play a little bit of a different style. Right? Abbotsford plays weirdly like the most East Coast hockey I've ever seen out of a West Coast team. It's like super fast paced but hard hitting, and like it really is just old time hockey, which goes so well with the logo on their chest. Colorado, they win with the power of friendship the same way the Avalanche do. I don't know. It's fun. It's a fun matchup. Like that's one of those ones where it's like I wish this was like at least the second round so we could get a best of 5 out of them at least. I feel like I'm being robbed with just 3.
Does anybody else not like the way the AHL sets up the playoffs?
Yeah, but that's a conversation for a different day.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will have that conversation later. Interestingly, with the Eagles and the Canucks series, the Eagles are kind of at a disadvantage with their goaltending right now. Justus Annunen, who is Alexander Georgiev's backup up in the Avalanche land in Denver. Actually, technically, I think it's south. It's south in Denver. Denver south. The Eagles. He's injured inexplicably. So Georgiev needs a backup, and they've got 2 at the ready. But unfortunately, that means they're getting called up to backup, and then maybe getting sitting down to play the next day. Like on the 23rd, Prosvetov was Georgie's backup, and then got sent back down so that he could play on the 24th. And then our home was the backup on the 21st, gets him back down. I mean, without Annunen, and obviously not expecting Annunen to be injured for the playoffs, to kind of think about maybe finding another goalie that they could have on a roster somewhere without having to go through a million hoops. They, didn't prepare for this super unpredictable thing, and now the Eagles are at a little bit of a goaltending disadvantage. You have tired goaltenders that you have to try to work your starting schedule around. And I know it's only 3 games, but when you're doing travel and like possibly playing because Georgiev wants to let in 7 goals, it's a struggle. Goaltending is hard in general. Goaltending is the hardest position in general. Add having to be active, and like maybe you have to play that game, so you have to like be warmed up and all of that on top of the travel, and you're kind of not set up for your most pristine goaltending.
Well, how about Abbotsford, they get a wrench thrown in their plans because up in Vancouver, their number one goalie decides, okay, he didn't decide. He comes down with an injury, and all of a sudden he's week to week. So, Artur Silovs, yeah, he was already picked up for goaltending depth, and he is not going to be available, I don't think, for Abbotsford for unless Nashville can finish Vancouver off pretty quickly. They're going to be looking to Zach Sawchenko, former Wolves great, who played all of 6 games for the Abbotsford Canucks here. And he went to Colorado and he won game 1. So it's whose net is it really anyway? I don't even think these two teams are going to know until warm-ups are concluded. And it's like, okay, is this it? These are our guys? Yeah, why not? They're going to roll with the vibes in that. Colorado's got a little more stake, but they are at home. They don't have to worry about, living out of a hotel until maybe after this round. But they kind of got to get their act together because the terrible thing about these best of threes is like you lose one game, okay, not everyone's perfect. You can drop one already on the brink of elimination. So that margin is so paper thin that you can't really true up one way or the other. You got to be dialed in at this time of the year. It's really tough when you don't know who your goalie's going to be.
Well, and that's where I think Abbotsford has like the edge in like the weird goaltending situation. Only reason I didn't bring up the goaltending situation is because Abbotsford's defense is defending. And they always have been a very defensive team. I mean, they're not like the biggest scoring team. They're not like lighting the lamp every 5 seconds, but where their strength lies is the defense. Like it is so strong, and it has been since they entered the league.
That's just the one constant. You're going to get really well coached group over there. It's going to be tough for Colorado to get back in, but they got a secret weapon. He's got 2 names, but he's really only got 1 name.
Ivan.
That's right.
Ivan squared.
Ivan squared.
He signed a 2-year deal this year with the Colorado Avalanche, 1 year per Ivan.
And he's been up with the Avalanche as well for very brief stints this season when they've needed to call on their roster depth. And he's right there. Like he's on the cusp.
Mm-hmm.
Like season and a half at most, and he's a regular in the burgundy and blue.
I hope so. I would love that jersey.
He's so exciting. He's such a good player. I love Ivan.
Love it. We have a host who was at a Calder Cup playoff game.
Woo!
Last night.
That's right. Give it to us, Sam.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It's okay. It's okay.
So not great.
Not great.
It depends on what team you
lay it out. Lay it all out there for them.
I was disappointed in their performance. 2-1 games
performance
in Wilkes-Barre.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. Sorry, needed context.
It was a 2-1 loss against their rivals down the turnpike here in Pennsylvania, the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, which I got to give it to the Phantoms. They actually looked like a hockey team last night. They were battling. Not Blomqvist's best performance. I'm going to say that. He did face, he saved 30 out of 32 shots. So, I mean, not bad if you look at stats-wise, but if you're there and you have eyes on him, it wasn't his cleanest performance.
I think it was just like was he just rattled? Was it the atmosphere that got to him? Was it like what do you think kind of got him off his game?
I think it might have just been rookie It might have just been rookie nerves in your first AHL playoff game. But he's played in playoffs before, but every league, every team is different. Every atmosphere is different. And when you're playing in a pro league and your parent club is watching you, it brings a different level of nervousness. And I think that's what it might have been for him. By halfway through the second, he got it together and he held his own in net, but it wasn't his best. I've seen better. He did make 2 remarkable saves that I saw. And then Lehigh Valley just came out guns blazing. They're really speedy on defense. With Emil Andre, who is just this short little Swedish kid. I mean, he is super short. Like it's him. Him and Bobby Brink are the same height, and you can just see them.
Hey, we appreciate short kings on this podcast. Don't announce them.
Especially if they're Swedish.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean he has the likes to become a very, very good player. He needs time. And just I do have to give props to Xavier Ouellet. Is that how I say it? Ouellet, sorry. They say it 10,000 different ways.
Well, it's
Roulette.
Well, I've heard it pronounced differently.
Okay, well, he was the Rocket captain for a long enough time that I think I know how to pronounce his name. I miss you, X. Please come back.
He's great.
Come home.
Come home. I'm sure he wants to. And Taylor Fidun, they were actually playing phenomenal last night and doing their job, giving Blomqvist sight lines. I just think they became complacent and thought, well, this is the 6th place team. We're the 3rd place team. We're obviously better. I think it was just kind of that mindset. And they just and they added 2 new guys into the lineup, which we all know can kind of jostle with the cohesiveness.
One of them scored, though. Another Wolves great, Ville Koivunen.
And we talked to him post-game. I think he was a little bit rattled by media because he didn't really know how to react to us. But yeah, I mean, I thought he played really good. Tristan Brose was in the lineup as well. He has come a long way in his development over the last season. So it'll be interesting to see if he makes the AHL next year.
See, this is why, speaking of, like, maybe it's just rookie nerves, maybe they're just too young to really, like, know what they're doing. This is why I understand why the AHL wants to put as many teams as possible into the playoffs, but why I still advocate for quality playoff experience over just quantity of playoff experience. You know? Like, yeah, you're a rookie and you got to learn, you got to, like, figure out how to handle yourself when the pressure is piled on even more than it normally is in the regular season. But, like, playoffs are a whole different beast. And if you're like, all right, well, we're playing the 6th place team and we were the 3rd place team, in the NHL, you'd be playing, like, the 4th place team. You know, like, you wouldn't be playing somebody who barely made it in. You wouldn't have that. You'd have to be on your game 100% of the time, knowing that, like, shoot, we barely made it in. At 3rd place, we barely made it in to the playoffs. That's what I am always going to advocate: quality playoff experience over quantity of playoff experience, just because it's hard to get your head right for that.
Well, and then you get to have your 5 or 7 game series with the Eagles and the Canucks, and that way the Pens can lose game 1 and they're not backs against the wall because we only scored 1 goal against Cal Peterson.
My thing is, like, how is a best of 3 series any different than a 3-3 in the regular season?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is it any different than Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the regular season, except for the fact that you've got just some days off in between? It doesn't carry the same amount of weight as, okay, I have to play this team up to 5, up to 7 times in a row. It doesn't carry the same weight.
It feels much more like you're playing, game number 74 instead of, game 1 of the playoffs.
Especially when you're, like, I love the way the AHL does their scheduling, where, like, teams can kind of barter for who they want to play. But especially when it's somebody who is not only in your division, but is just up the road, so you play them all the time anyway. Like, it doesn't have any kind of different weight playing a best-of-3 series. And the rookies who need that experience don't get that this is what playoffs feel like experience.
Mm-hmm. It's a flawed system. I don't think anyone looks at this and is like, yeah, this is, you know what, this is perfect. But for some reason, the teams love it. They're like, yeah, everyone gets a trophy. So, well,
But not everybody.
Actually, only one team gets it, but everyone gets to play for the trophy. So everyone gets to feel involved. Just okay, not Chicago, but no one wants to see Chicago. Not this Chicago. The Wolves fans would like to, but they're about the only.
I'd kind of love to see like the Barracuda play, like
play in front of
Manitoba.
800 people and just get waxed by Coachella.
Yeah,
you know what? Why not? Give me 5 games of it. Why not?
San Jose up against like Rockford. Like I don't know. I just want
just a random team not even in the division. Just
No, exactly. Just like some like random team, say like they're the same conference, right?
Yes.
Well, that's the conference final. I want it. I need it. I would love to see the ensuing chaos.
Oh, jeez.
Wait, wasn't Chicago the last team to play in Stockton? Like the last series?
Yeah, yep. And like 105-degree temperatures outside, so the ice was terrible.
Ice.
Oh my god, it was awful. Players were falling around the way the puck was bouncing. It looked like my local rink here at Fraser, which actually has a bit of a claim to fame by being shared by Spit and Chicklets and all sorts of hockey media types because the water from the storm was literally coming right through in the middle of the locker room. It was like a shower in the room. So if that's what I'm comparing your team's facility to, which was hosting Western Conference Finals games, you see why they're in Calgary now, right?
Honestly, RIP in pieces to the Stockton Flames. That was
Stockton Heat.
What I meant. You know what I meant. Rest in peace to the Stockton Heat who went up in flames is the sentence I was trying to say.
There it is.
With me, cause Calgary. Rest in peace, but like not really. It's kind of like the Queen. Like rest in peace. That's somebody's grandma, but also like who needs the monarchy?
Oh, I could have gone on a dark road on that one, but we gotta keep this. We gotta keep this on the train tracks here.
Canada's still part of the Commonwealth, so.
Yeah, I mean, is she still on the money?
Yeah, but even in like England, she's still on the money. Like they got to reprint.
Well, that's their subjects. When you're paying, I mean, I guess
Canadian money is super cool.
Canada kind of is too. So.
Well, but that's the thing is like that's gonna like I don't know, like even in England, right? Like it takes a while to get a new monarch on the money that's in circulation. They don't just reprint and remint coins like all the time.
They need to be more like America and just print their own money whenever they feel like it.
That's why we're inflated.
That's right. Exactly. More. Let's just have more. Let's just more. All right. Again. That was about to go into a dark corner that we're gonna instead turn to another kind of darker corner in Texas, right in your backyard.
That's like hours away.
Okay, well, it's in the same state, so I know it's a big state. Okay,
this state is so large. Please, I went to a wedding in the like DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth area. It still took us like 4.5 hours to get there, and then I left my glasses in Burleson, so I'm wearing contacts all day every day now.
It's clearly it's not just a little drive just down the highway, and I mean it's in the same state, right? Come on.
Listen. Interstate 45 is not actually interstate; it's intrastate because it exists only to connect Houston to Dallas-Fort Worth. That's it. They built a whole freeway because it's actually so far away, Dallas and Houston. And I know they're not like that's not what we're talking about because this one is still not in Dallas. The Texas Stars are not in Dallas, but it's about the same distance in a little bit of a different direction. Texas is massive.
You know what else is
El Paso.
really,
Took me 10
really
years.
far away? It's Manitoba. Manitoba's really far because it's the segue because Texas and Manitoba is the other series that we need to talk about here.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Manitoba is far away, but it's in like the middle of Canada. It's fine.
In the middle of Canada, you know how if you think Texas is big, look at how big Canada is. The middle of Canada.
Okay, but Canada's a country. The United States.
Texas wants to be its own country.
Well, so does Quebec, but like we don't give states and provinces what they want.
I mean, in terms of secession, no, but anyway,
that's it. Texas, not as good as the Stars.
No, but you know who is really good?
The Moose.
Maverick Bork.
Oh.
Yeah, but a bit of a different shift there. I thought Manitoba was going to smack Texas around here a bit because that's what they did their last series.
Mm-hmm.
That whole tone setting that we were talking about. The Moose went in and just moosed all over them. I can't use the actual verb I want to on this podcast, but they moosed all over them. And I mean, the one game was what 8-3, the other one was 4-1. I was like, oh, okay, so this is like what's gonna happen. They're just gonna smack them. Game one, Maverick Bork's like, nah, it's not gonna happen. 2 goals, 2 assists. How are you now? He was just named Rookie of the Year, and he responds by going out and doing that. So, or no, he wasn't named Rookie of the Year. That was Logan Stankoven, who's not even on the team anymore.
Wow.
No, Maverick Bork was the leading point scorer, and he just decided I'm just going to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Texas, they kind of smashed them, and it was a great response to that series, which I thought again was going to be the precursor, but after kind of a second half fall from grace for the Stars, it's a building block. I'm not saying they're going to go on a run because their reward for if they dismantle the Moose to the night of this recording, which is going to be
Thursday.
But they're going to be rewarded with playing Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm. My favorite thing about that game, the absolute domination of the Stars over the Moose, is that it was such a disciplined game. We're putting disciplined in air quotes there because, like, was it really disciplined or were they just not calling things?
It's playoff disciplined.
But yeah, that was what was impressive to me. I mean, these are 2 teams that let their emotions get the best of them almost 100% of the time. And there were 3 penalties. They were all minors. Like they're like 2 teams that get rough, and you absolutely see when they're frustrated either with each other or these are just 2 teams where it's like, all right, cool, we're getting under their skin. 3 penalties.
Mm-hmm. And any Wolves fans who might be listening out there know how Manitoba can get really rattled, especially, you know, when they do something like let a goalie score on them, and then the goalie has a celebration because, goalie goal, right? And then the entire Manitoba team gets butthurt because he celebrated a goalie goal. It's easy to... I'm not going to say it's easy to rattle the Moose, but it's kind of easy to rattle the Moose. It's like when someone takes a slap shot on your empty net and you just start losing your mind. It's kind of the same thing. And
they're a team that plays with their emotions, and their emotions. I mean, when you play with your emotions as a hockey team, it goes both ways. It could either work to your advantage like it does with the Syracuse Crunch, or it could work against you like it does with the Laval Rocket.
So
100% of the time.
Do you think that going into the series, and Texas hit with the number 1 power play in the league, that Manitoba might have wanted to dial that back a little bit. Or do you think?
I mean, 100%. You're thinking like, all right, well, this is a really good special teams team, right? You don't want to go shorthanded against a team that is like really good on the power play for sure. You work that into your game plan. Like, I mean, they still took 2 penalties, but you definitely have to be like thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. I mean, the Moose ended up scoring on a Stars power play, so the Moose also came prepared with the penalty kill. So sure, but also like, were they really that disciplined, or is it playoff hockey?
It's playoff hockey. Let's be real. It's playoff hockey.
It's playoffs discipline.
Playoffs.
Yes. If we want to talk about discipline or a lack thereof, I got the team for you right here.
Hit me with it.
The Grand Rapids Griffins, I am almost kind of flabbergasted with just they've been hit. I need to go and do my research on this, but I believe they have been hit with the most abusive official penalties in the league because they just don't stop complaining about calls. And I wish I could use a different verb than complaining, but again, family friendly podcast. And unfortunately, one of the worst offenders is my guy right here. But he needs to duct tape his mouth, and every time you get knocked down, you don't need to instead look over at the ref and start talking, because that ref's going to be like, I'm not going to listen to a word he has to say. I'm not in his corner.
And he brings out the Berggren bobblehead, I'm bringing out Jar Jar. Just every time.
Honestly, though, I had one of those on the ECHL team I work for. I had one of those players this season. It was like every time, dude, just stop. Just stop. Just get in the box, take the penalty, and duct tape your mouth.
And it ends up getting them in trouble more times than it gets the ref's attention for, oh man, what's the ref going to be like? Oh yeah, he's right. Yep, that maybe should have been a penalty. Oh, I'm going to call it. No ref thinks like that. He's going to say, shut up, or I'm going to call you on the next time that you knock a guy down. So,
well, here's the thing. The only people as codified in the rule book that should be challenging a call or a non-call from an official, the only person who should be asking for an explanation is anybody with a letter on their chest. Like per the actual book. Yeah, per the actual rule book, the only people who are supposed to be like trying to get answers out of the officials are the captains and the alternate captains. Anybody else, it's within the officials' discretion to be able to call it abusive officials.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and they've been calling it. They have been getting after it. And for the Griffins, I feel like Rockford's got a bit of a mental edge on them. They've been going after them. Rockford knows that they can kind of play physical and knock them off their game a little bit. And if they're at least not focused on, hitting them back or something that's not playing hockey, they're talking to the refs because, oh man, Ethan Del Mastro just cross-checked me, or Isaac Phillips just tripped me up, and instead of getting up and back into the play, I'm sitting here throwing my arms up and looking for a call. And especially in the playoffs, you're just not gonna get it. So suck it up and play some hockey. Otherwise, it's really gonna cost them. And they got a bit of a weird format coming up where despite being the higher seed, they start with one game in Rockford. Then they play 2 games in Grand Rapids, 1 more in Rockford if they need it. And then the last one would be in Grand Rapids if they need that one. The Griffins have been awesome at home, so they don't need to worry about it. But you can't go and just lay a stinker out in Rockford in game 1 and kind of get that tone setter right there. Like you just can't do it. So it's about discipline. And I need the real Griffins to show up because this last month, I know you've lost Edvinson and Zarnik and Aston Reese up to the Red Wings. It's understandable. Okay, you might not be playing your best hockey here and there, but you still had Berger and you still had Casper, you still had Mazer, and they weren't really generating a ton on offense. And I mean, Sebastian Cossa was still doing Sebastian Cossa things. We love the big sea bass in Grand Rapids, but I kind of feel like there was still an element kind of missing from this squad, and they're up to full strength now. They're not being siphoned from the NHL like a lot of these other teams here in the playoffs. The Red Wings, again, thank you, Philadelphia. We're not in the playoffs, so
They understood the assignment.
yeah.
You're welcome.
No, nobody wanted that. Everybody wanted not that.
No, people love watching minus 40 goal differential Washington getting waxed by New York.
I do. I for sure do. It's great for my bracket, actually.
Yeah, you guys could have been watching Jeff Petrie this whole time. You're really missing out.
Sorry. No, I'm sorry. I suffered through years of Jeff Petrie on the Habs. And then he got reacquired by them. And for a brief second there, I thought, what if they don't trade him back out?
But did you have to give him to us?
You're going to have to talk to Kit and Jeff about that.
Like that, I feel like that's just cruel and unusual at this point. Like, have you realized how much? Okay, I'm already taking medication for my blood pressure. I don't need it to get any higher because of Jeff Petrie.
It will. I hate to break it to you.
Season's over.
He's on your team.
The season's over. He can't hurt me anymore.
Oh, yes, he can. Because if they extend his contract at all, it will.
I just won't watch that. I just won't watch.
Andrew, I hate to break it to you, but you're taking blood pressure pills because we're your co-hosts.
Okay, there's several factors that are involved in it.
Listen, I didn't do anything. I'm cool with blaming it on Jeff Petrie. Same.
There's a lot of reasons why.
Jeff Petrie is a wonderful person, and his kids are extremely cute, and his wife, Julie, is super sweet, and I think he's a great guy. And
his dad once played for the Detroit Tigers, if you never found that out.
Yeah,
they only played it every single broadcast.
It's not like they mentioned it every time they played in Detroit. Detroit. Flashbacks. But yeah, like wonderful people, great family, Julie, Jeff Petrie, and their kids, super great. When he was enjoying his time in Montreal, he was great for the community. However, I'm very glad he's not a Hab anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure that must be great.
I do miss Ben Sherratt, though. Could we please have Ben Sherratt?
No.
I miss him.
No.
He's so good at hockey.
You know who else is? A lot of these guys on the Griffins, they got to get their act together. I'm going to say that. Rockford is they've been one of the hottest teams in the league coming in here. They have a great goaltending duo. They don't even know who might be starting most of these games. I don't even think they really care because either one could. Drew Comesso, yeah, sure. Jackson Stauber, why not? He shut the Griffins out. He could totally do it.
Rockford's also been just like getting better every year. It's like they hit their little slumpy slump. They changed the mascot. He went on a diet. He's actually weirdly more terrifying now. And
Hammy was better when he was plus size.
Perfect the way he was. He was terrifying, but at least he didn't look like a sleep paralysis demon. When I wake up in the middle of the night, new Hammy is standing at the end of my bed telling me it's all going to be okay.
Ham Rocket, the weird shape of his head and the cold, unfeeling eyes that he has. Oh my God.
But since they put Hammy on Slim Fast, the Ice Hogs have been, like picking up steam. They've just been railroading everybody who gets in their way.
So what you're saying is that Griffins fans are going to have to find him and just stuff him full of Peppino's pizza and just hope that it kind of takes the vibe out of the whole team. It's just, or is I don't know. I don't want to touch that because I feel like if you bring Fat Hammy back, it's going to bring the good vibes back, and
I don't know. It's a double-edged sword.
Keep Slim Hammy.
I don't know. Double-edged sword.
I am actually though. There's one storyline in this series that I'm really interested in because second to last time that these two teams played, Taro Hirose decided to do his best Paul Bunyan impression on Cole Gutman's hand and just hammered him with his stick. Cole Gutman was the reigning AHL player of the month, one of the hottest players in the league in terms of point production. His looks, you guys can debate that one. And then Taro's just like, yeah, I'm just going to break that old hand. He's now, maybe returns at the end of the series if it goes that long. Taco's fine. I'm wondering his first game back if he's going to see some retribution. I'm wondering if Cole Gutman's going to come back and either if he's going to get his own piece of flesh or if he's just going to be the bigger person and score goals and hurt the Griffins that way instead. It's going to be very intriguing. I think there's going to be some bad blood in this series because of that play, and I'm here for it. As long as they just don't hurt him. Like if he could just shut his mouth, and you can hurt Jar Jar. In fact, I encourage the hurting of Jar Jar, but I don't hurt the meatball. He didn't do anything except complain.
He'll get caught in the crossfire probably.
He's gonna eat it this series. I know what's gonna happen. His mouth's going to get him in trouble. I can feel it. I know it. I see it, but I don't want it.
Well, I don't think anybody really wants to see the young stars of their franchise get caught in the crossfire. However, this is, it's personal in the playoffs. It's in the regular season, it's not personal. It's hockey, right? But in the playoffs, it's personal. This is when you get your grudge matches in.
I love it. We got a couple of series that are going to get wrapped up here before we meet up again. So I want to know from you guys. So between Abbotsford and Colorado, who you got?
It pains me to say Abby.
That's fair. Sam, you've heard the arguments. Now, pick a side.
And keep in mind that, I'm also an Avs fan. I love the Colorado Avalanche. I keep up with the Eagles because of
it. Am I giving my guess for Abbotsford?
Abbotsford, Colorado,
yeah. Start with Abbotsford and Colorado.
Abbotsford.
I'm keeping with Colorado. I called Colorado in 3. I said Nikolai Kovalenko OT winner in game 3. Then the Voodoo Ranger Lounge is going to go bonkers, and I'm probably going to have a fat tire to enjoy that one.
The best beer New Belgium makes.
I might go ahead and get some after this episode's done recording. It is playoff season after all. What about the old Keystone rivalry over there? We got Lehigh Valley and Wilkes-Barre. You think the Pens can run it back, Sam?
I think the Pens aren't going to take that loss lying down.
Oh, that's harsh. Dee, what do you got?
I love an underdog. So, I'm going Lehigh.
Are we calling all 3 for the Phantoms here? Man, one game and we're all like, I went from Wilkes-Barre as my upset pick over Hershey to let's just run the 6 seed through. Why not?
Dude, these two teams stress me out. I can't even explain it.
There's something about a team showing
up. You need some help with that?
There's something about a team showing up, knowing that they are the underdog and coming ready to play and setting the tone early. And I think it's really hard to overcome that tone being set so early when you're the team that the underdog upset.
So my thing is like, I will always support Lehigh. They were my first beat. They're the beat that I know the best. They're the players that I know the best. And I'm all for it. But I've been with Wilkes all season. And man, I want to be back in Mohegan Sun Arena on Sunday at 5:00 in the afternoon.
I'm so glad that Grand Rapids and Chicago haven't seen each other in the playoffs while I've been on the beat, because that would be tough. That'd be a tough one. I can't pick beats. Let's see what else.
Not to interrupt your pick, Andrew, but Maverick Bork has been selected, and my Face ID is not going to work.
He is the 2023-24 AHL MVP. I just got the notification from.
Well, there we go. Wow! Congratulations to Barbecue Bork.
Yes, with the K in his name.
That's just right.
No,
they got to call him Top Gun in the locker room, right?
I guess. Or they probably call him Borky.
Probably. That's
like,
real simple.
Honest. All right, Texas, Manitoba.
I
Tough one.
mean, I said Moose in 3. I'm gonna backtrack on that one. I'm gonna take Texas. That game 1 showing, I played too much into the end of the regular season. Texas, I think, is still the better squad overall, and they have the MVP. So unless Manitoba can, Thomas Millick can kind of turn it around there in net, I think the Stars are going to kind of pummel them and take this one quickly and move on to Milwaukee.
Sam?
Manitoba.
Oh, she's sticking with the Moose.
Okay. I got the Stars.
Texas keeping it with Texas, I see. Small state.
As much as I don't like Dallas and its affiliates, I got the represent. It's not a small state at all. It takes like 15 hours to get across it.
You know, for a Midwesterner, that's really not a long drive.
Really? That's just one state. You drive 15 hours from the Midwest and you've gone through like 12 of them.
I've driven 10 hours and stayed in Michigan, so
Okay, that's cute.
I don't want to hear it, okay? I don't want to hear it.
Most of your state is actually water, so it doesn't really count.
Are you jealous? Because you should be.
Are you kidding me? I live right by the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay, well, that's all salt, man. You can't even drink that stuff unless you're having a margarita. Are you drinking margaritas right now?
No, I'm drinking Dr. Pepper.
Well, that's got the good water in it, so you're welcome.
Our first ingredient is, in fact, water. So.
I was kind of worried for a second there.
Carbonated water.
So Saturday we got Grand Rapids and Rockford opening up. That is not going to complete by the end of this. Do we even roll predictions for that one? I just hope that both teams have fun until I show up next week, because the boot's coming off tomorrow.
No, I mean I think we can throw a prediction out.
Let's do it. What are you guys?
Our predictions next week? No?
We can do it next week? Yeah, you know what? Let's keep it for next week.
Okay. Well, I go Ice Hogs.
Wow, you're gonna do that?
Go Griffins.
It's okay. I was gonna pick the Ice Hogs anyway, but you didn't have to come at me like that. That's all I was saying.
I said go Griffins.
Well, I didn't even. You gotta speak up, Sam. I didn't even hear you.
I did speak up. Nobody heard me.
Well,
Anywho, League of Their Own is one of my favorite movies, and they're the Rockford Peaches, so go Rockford.
Oh, that's it for this week. Thanks again, our always beautiful audience, for tuning in. We are going to be bringing all the action and more as the playoffs continue. It's going to be a wild ride. I'm going to need probably a refill on these
And also maybe Sam watches 3 movies.
Sam, just watch one. Just get the ball rolling.
Watch Black Pearl, and you'll not want to stop. I promise.
We're not going to let you live this down until you do it, so you might as well just get it over with.
Oh my God, leave me alone.
Okay, we will. Bye-bye.
Podcast.